Keep coming. Please call your friends, inform your friends that I am ready to go live. Please send the news around, share the video, share the video. Once I see 200 hits on the screen, I will start the commentary. I see Shipbroker Nips. Good evening, sir, wherever you are tuning in from. Beatrice in D4. Good evening, ma'am, wherever you are joining from. I see Nash Precious in Guaj. Good evening, ma'am, wherever you're coming in from. I see Ngabim Aristide. Good evening, sir. I see Jane Babs. I see Aisha Ann. I see Pivaga George. I see Cho Emmanuel. I see Weribad Divine. Please share the videos, share the video, let people join, please, as much as we can. Once we hit 200 people, I will go live. Jessica Linda, thank you for joining. Bido, thanks for joining. Riza Tutang, thanks for joining. Andy Tabe, thanks for joining. Nelson Mbi, thanks for joining. Jimmy Tonga, thanks. Ishwali Eyong Eric, thanks. Marseille Enambong, thanks. Weaver MC, thanks for joining. Samuel Ibot, thanks also for joining. Please share the video. Let more people come in. I see we have hit 209, 212 right now. Let the number flow. Please share the video. Thank you. We want to make sure we hit at least 1,000 people watching this broadcast. So please do us a favor. We want to make sure this information goes as far and wide as we can. I see Nzaje Preacher, thanks for joining. I see, I think I already mentioned all these ones already. I see Cho Emmanuel, thanks for joining. Jacinta Fon, thanks for joining. Shasha Mambeng, thanks for joining. Abendaka Baba, thanks for joining. Eriko Injombos, thanks for joining. Cody, thanks for joining. Please share the video. We're hitting the mark now. At 300 viewers, I am going to go live. I am going to start. Thank you. Please share the video. Share the video. Let the numbers not drop, please. I see 276. It went up to 288. It's 288 right now. At 300 people, I am going to start. This information I bring to you today is very important. 301. Thank you. Fellow Ambazonians, I am excited to be joining you today to brief you on the state of our revolution. I want every one of you out there to know the state of our revolution could never be stronger. We are at a very precious moment in this revolution, and we are stronger more than ever before, in spite of the fact that our leaders were arrested on Friday. We are seeing signs that one of these days we're going to be having them back to us. Those are the signs we are having. And before I move on, I want to share with you what happened on Friday, because I know some of you have not been able to hear directly from me. What I'm going to do in this broadcast is I will give you the narrative of what happened since Friday to today, and I will make some commentary upon that, and then I will be able to take your questions. First of all, the narration of what happened on Friday. Yesterday, Saturday, January 6th, we all here at the interim government will receive news that our president, Sisiku, AyukTabe, and 9 other people were arrested in Abuja. I don't want to use the word arrest, because when you arrest somebody, you come with a warrant of arrest. In this case, the hotel was stormed with 12 heavily armed soldiers. Some information say the soldiers or the military, the armed military, were elements of the Nigerian Secret Service. Some people say they were not. But what we know is that their hotel was stormed with 12 heavily armed military. And they were taken out of their hotel, abducted out from the hotel. The hotel was not left with information where they were being taken to, because we have been back to that hotel again and again to try to inquire where they were taken to. And the hotel has no information as to where they were taken to. Since our leaders, the president and 9 others were taken, nobody, none of us, not even their family members, have been able to have access to them. Their phone numbers ring, but nobody pick. None of us at the interim government, at the cabinet level, has been able to reach out to them. Not even their families have been able to reach out to them. And again, let me give you the names of those who were abducted yesterday. Of course, first, we have our president, His Excellency Julius AyukTabe, the President of the Federal Republic of Amazonia. And also, we also have Dr. Ngala, who is the chairman of the Southern Cameroon's National Council. We also had included Dr. Fidelis Inde, who is the advisor to the President of the federal government. We also have in the list Dr. Henry Kimming. He is head of Refugee Affairs with the federal government of Amazonia. Then we also have Professor Augustine Awasom, who is a member of the Amazonian Restoration Council. Then included in the arrest also was Dr. Cornelius Kwanga. Dr. Cornelius is Under Secretary for Economy and Finance. And then we also have Comrade Tassan Wilfred, who is the Secretary for Education. He was also arrested. And then we have Barrister Elias Eyambe. Barrister Elias Eyambe is Amazonian Ambassador to the African Union. Then we also have Dr. Ojong Onkongo. Dr. Ojong is Secretary for Home Affairs and Internal Security for our government. And then lastly, but not the least, the only woman who was captured or abducted in the raid, Barrister Nalowa B. She is Director of Administration at the Presidency of the Federal Republic of Amazonia. Again, those are the names of those who were abducted yesterday in the raid that took place in the hotel, Nera Hotel in Abuja, Nigeria. Again, the names are His Excellency Julius AyukTabe, Dr. Ngala, Dr. Fidelis Inde, Dr. Henry Kimming, Professor Augustine Awasom, Dr. Cornelius Kwanga, Mr. Tassan Wilfred, Barrister Elias Eyambe, Dr. Ojong Nkongo, and Barrister Nalowa B. These are the names of those who were abducted, whom we are fighting for their release. Now, we are reliably informed. Let me put this first. There is rumor and allegations going on out there in the social media that they have been released. That information is not correct. None of them has been released. They are all still being held. And we are reliably informed that all of them are in the custody of the Nigerian government. In fact, we learned that they were being interviewed by the Nigerian Secret Service. We do not know yet the subject of the interview. All we know from reports is that they are all being interrogated by the Nigerian Secret Service. Now, it is important that we cancel all these allegations going on out there, especially coming from CRTV, the lying box, the propaganda box of La République du Cameroon. We are informed that CRTV is informing people that the revolution is over with the arrest of our leaders. Now, I want you to look at me eyeball to eyeball. This revolution has only just reignited momentum in every one of us. If we have ever been dedicated, if we have ever been committed, if we have ever put in our all in this revolution, this is the time. This is the time. The fire has been reignited in all of us, and I believe the same to you, going by the response that we are hearing from the ground, going by the response that we are hearing from every nook and corner of the southern Cameroons. We are only just starting. This revolution has only just begun. Do not be deceived. Do not be lied to. Nobody can stop the train of this revolution. CRTV cannot stop it. Vision 4 TV cannot stop it. The entire operatives of La République du Cameroon cannot stop it. This revolution has just arrived another level. And I want to encourage each and every one of you out there, please buckle your belt. We are in for a big ride, and we are definitely winning. If La République du Cameroon was winning, they won't be spreading lies through CRTV. CRTV is out there, and Vision 4 television announcing that schools are going to resume. No school. The federal government, the interim government has said again and again, and listen to me, I repeat this with you. No schools are resuming any day soon. Not until the federal government gives that instruction. And I have said to you again and again that let this settle in our heart. We are no longer subject to the rules and regulations or orders from La République du Cameroon. Ambazonia, the southern Cameroons, is a sovereign nation right now as we speak. And we want this to settle in the minds and the hearts of every Ambazonian that we are a sovereign state. La République may not believe this. The United Nations may not be saying so. The Commonwealth may not be saying so. But one thing we should know is that they are not the ones to determine our independence. It is you and it is me to determine our independence. On October 1st, we all went out in our numbers, in millions, and we decreed and declared our independence. We stand by that declaration. Ambazonia is a sovereign country. The fact that we still have gendarmes, we still have SDOs, we still have governors, we still have magistrates working or officiating, doing business in our territory, doesn't mean that we are not. This thing has to settle in our minds, in our heads first, before it gets out there. So please listen. When CRTV and other French-speaking television networks go out there announcing that schools are going to start, announcing that the revolution is over, I want you to know that is a big propaganda. They are trying to end the revolution. Remember, they cannot end it. We are the ones to end it. Again, beginning tomorrow, until further notice from the interim government, no schools. You send your child to school, you send your child at your own risk. You pay school fee for your son, for your daughter, you do so at your own risk because you may never recover the money. Please, I'm warning you, don't take that risk. Don't pay the school fee and then have to regret afterwards. Don't send your son or your daughter to school and have to regret afterward. We have given conditions under which schools will have to resume in our territory. We have said, and the president made it so clear on New Year's Eve, the president said the only conditions under which we are going to encourage school resumption is when, number one, La République du Cameroon releases unconditionally all the detainees that they have in prisons in Yaoundé, in Boya, in Bamenda, in Bafoussam, in Douala. Every single detainee who has been put in jail because of this revolution, including, of course, Mancho BBC, they all must be released before schools can resume. Number two, we have asked La République du Cameroon that they must withdraw all their troops from our street, from our cities, from our towns, from every nook and corner of our territory before we can encourage anybody to send his or her child to school. These are the conditions that must be met. Of course, we are all aware of the picture that is ongoing in Manfred and Manu today. The towns and the cities in Manu, they have all been deserted. How can we say we send our children back to school when the whole county, in fact, the biggest county in the southern Cameroon is Manu, and the counties have been deserted? We have over 40,000 refugees, as I speak, sitting over across the river in Nigeria. Those 40,000 refugees are students. There are teachers. There are children that ought to be in school too. How can we avoid them, ignore them, and ask other schools in other counties to just resume school and go on? If we do that, it tantamount to we having no conscience. So the condition is when La République du Cameroon stops its war in Manu and withdrew all its troops or her troops from Manu, and all the refugees are able to get back into Manu, then and only then, coupled with the other conditions, can we say any child or parent should send their children back to school. These are the conditions that we have given La République du Cameroon. And remember, we are not asking them, we are telling them what they got to do. It's our right to do so. We are not part of them. We don't believe in one and indivisible Cameroon. We don't believe in a federal Cameroon. We don't believe in a decentralized Cameroon. La République du Cameroon had opportunity for 56 years to decentralize. They did not. La République du Cameroon had opportunity for 56 years for a good federal structure, a good federal system where every state or every region manages itself, develop its own economic plan. La République did not. We waited for 56 good years. Many of our statesmen who founded this nation, the EML Indalis, the John Good Funcher, the ST Mona, the Jewels, the Fundlons, the Mbiles, they all fought for a federal system. The Albert Mukongs, they all fought for it. They are all gone. And some are now in exile. I am talking about people like Ambassador Fosso. I'm talking about people like Tassang Wilfred. I'm talking about people like Barrister Bobga Harmony. I'm talking about people like Barrister Eyambe Elias and so many others who are now in exile. And the only reason being that La République du Cameroon refused to even discuss, just discussion. La République refused to discuss federation. And so, for 56 years, we are done with La République du Cameroon. We are absolutely done with La République du Cameroon. Their military might is not going to stop our ideology. Their military might is not going to stop this movement. Their propaganda over CRTV and their affiliate like Vision 4 will not stop this ideology. And they will have to kill all the 8 million of us for them to occupy our territory or to own our territory. And let me explain something to you. They keep telling us that we are one and indivisible. We have never been one and indivisible. In 1961, when we became the state of West Cameroon or Southern Cameroon, when we joined with La République du Cameroon, it was on 2 equal terms. It wasn't like husband and wife. Absolutely not. It was on the basis of 2 equal territories coming together to form a nation. In fact, the flag of Cameroon then had 2 stars. One star stood for La République du Cameroon, and the other star was for the Southern Cameroon. But in the process of 56 years, slowly but surely, they assimilated and then annihilated everything identical to our culture, our way of life, our way of administration, our way of education, our way of the legal system, the common law system. Everything has been slowly but surely annihilated. That is why, after protesting for so many years, I was one of those who attended the 1993 first AAC, All Anglophone Conference, that took place at Mount Mary in Boya. And the cry was simple. The cry was to Mr. Biya, please take this country back to what it was in 1961. Mr. Biya did not listen. In 1994, the second AAC met in Bamenda, and they wrote to Mr. Biya and said, time is running out. Take us back to 1961 into the 2-state federation. Mr. Biya did still not respond. Last year, our lawyers, our teachers, they said, Mr. President, remove the French-speaking magistrate, the French-speaking clerks, the French-speaking prosecutors away from our court. Take away the French teachers from our classroom. Our students, our children cannot be taught by those who barely can express themselves in the English language. Mr. Biya did not listen to them. In the place of reforms, in the place of heeding to the counsel of the teachers and the lawyers, our lawyers were arrested, maltreated, tortured, and robbed in the mud. Our students were also arrested, tortured, and robbed in the mud. We still remember that graphic picture, image, video of that Boya University student on the streets of Boya who was robbed in the mud without any shame from forces of law and order of La République du Cameroon. Now, Barrister Agboogbala and the consortium came in and they said, Mr. President, take us back to the federal system. They pleaded and they had one meeting after the other. La République du Cameroon, how to tell you the level of their, to bring to you the level of their bad faith. Instead of trying to listen to Agboogbala and the rest of the consortium, they tried to divide and rule them by trying to bribe them. La République did not succeed. When they failed to succeed, Agboogbala was arrested with Dr. Fontem Neba, Mancho BBC, and put behind bars. Today, Agboogbala is out, Dr. Fontem is out, but Mancho BBC is still behind the bars. I want you to understand where we are coming from and why we are not turning back and why we are not ending this. Now, in the course of this, we know that over 500 Ambazonians have been killed, not through accident, but through the brutal forces of La République du Cameroon. And so let me ask you, how can we turn back at this juncture, knowing how many people have been killed by La République du Cameroon in the course of this struggle? We know there are mass graves in Boya. We have all seen it in the newspapers. We have seen men and women, children, maimed, shot on their legs so that they can never walk again, shot in their eyes so they can never see again, shot in their mouth so they can never eat again. We have seen terrible atrocities, genocide committed by the forces from La République du Cameroon. After going through all of this, why should we look back? How can we look back? Please, as you listen to my voice today, I want you to have no doubt in your mind that this revolution is only moving forward. We are determined that this revolution will never turn back. We can keep our president in jail for the next generation. Another generation of leaders in the southern Cameroon will emerge that will further this revolution. And so I want Mr. Biya to remember, and his regime to remember, when you arrested Agbobala, when you arrested Dr. Fontaine, Mancho, BBC, and others, and put in jail, they thought that the revolution was over. CRTV must have announced that the revolution is there with the arrest of the leaders. Of course, the revolution did not die. Instead, after arresting Barrister Bala, Dr. Fontaine, Mancho, BBC, and others, the revolution just picked on fire. You see, La République du Cameroon, instead of trying to resolve issues, keep moving from one blunder to another, one blunder to another, instead of looking for solutions. The Commonwealth Secretary was only recently in Yaoundé, and the watchword coming out of our mouth was inclusive dialogue, inclusive dialogue, inclusive dialogue. The United Nations has been talking and calling for inclusive dialogue, inclusive dialogue. The British government has been calling for inclusive dialogue. The European Union and the European Parliament has been calling for inclusive dialogue. The African Union has continued also to call for inclusive dialogue. The burden for that dialogue is not ours in the interim government to call. The burden is that of La République du Cameroon to call. And we have men who believe in federation like Dr. Munzu, John Frundi of the SDF, Barrister Akere Mona, and the rest. They have all been championing this call for dialogue forever since this revolution began. Unfortunately, to them, Biya continued to say federation is not on the table. I have been wondering, why can Dr. Munzu, why can Chairman John Frundi, why can Mr. Akere Mona, Barrister Akere Mona, why can't you people have some reasoning that this guy refuses to listen even to moderate voices like yours? Listen, that is one of the reasons why we are not turning back. We will get to our destination with this revolution. And our destination is the federal capital in Boya. There is no negotiation, no dialogue that puts away an independent southern Cameroon on the table. In fact, I will say, like Hissène Arafat said during some negotiations with the Israelites during their peace talks in 1990, Yasser Arafat said to a journalist, he said, if I should sign any peace agreement with Israel that does not include Jerusalem as the capital of Palestine, cut my right hand off. And I want to say to you, watching and listening to me, if you are a journalist, if you are from CRTV, you are from Vision 4, I want you to listen to me carefully. The day that we sign any trust, the day that the interim government of Amazonia signs any trust with la République du Cameroon without the the day that we sign any agreement with la République du Cameroon, that does not include or talk about our total liberty, total independence in Boya. Cut off this hand. Cut off my right hand. If I will be party or part of any arrangement, part of any agreement that does not establish the independent Southern Cameroons with headquarters in Boya, will la République du Cameroon, listen to me, cut off this right hand from me. That is, I bring this argument to explain to you how resolved, how determined this interim government is in continuing this revolution. And so again, do not listen to CRTV lies and propaganda. Do not listen to Vision 4 lies and propaganda. The revolution is hairy and strong. It can only be stronger, never looking backward, or looking right. We are looking forward. And of course, we are going to come across moments of trials like this one that I can assure you we will overcome and we will move on. Now, let me talk about some other subject here. We have announced that beginning tomorrow, Monday, life come to a standstill in all of the Southern Cameroons, from Fako to Nkambe, from Mezan to Meme, from Lebialem to Indu. Every single town and city in the Southern Cameroons is going to be brought to a standstill. Please, if you have to do some shopping, do it today. Do it tonight before it is 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we want everybody in the Southern Cameroons, in respect to our leaders, in honor, in solidarity with our leaders who have been arrested, everybody should remain indoors and observe the biggest of ghost towns that we have ever seen since the beginning of this struggle. I want everybody to be on the watch. Look out for traitors. Anybody who defied this ghost town, including taxi drivers and Okada guys, anybody who resists this ghost town, note them, mark them, and report them where appropriate. This ghost town is in solidarity to our abducted leaders. And we are telling La République, we are still in charge of our territory. Remember, I have said again and again that gone are the days when we took instructions from La République du Cameroon. Gone are the days when we respected their laws. Please listen. Tomorrow, up to Wednesday, has been declared Ghost Town Days in honor and solidarity with our arrested brothers. Now, Vision 4 and CRTV would want you to believe that there is no ghost town. I want you to know it's a lie. You do not have to take anything for any moment from CRTV, because they will never tell you the truth. All over Manu, their soldiers are falling and dying like cockroaches. And CRTV doesn't announce it. They say nothing about it. How can you believe them? So this is the point. We control our destiny. We have to resist every single law and regulation coming from La République du Cameroon. We pay no taxes to them. No timber should go to La République du Cameroon. And if possible, no oil from Victoria should be shipped down to La République du Cameroon. Nothing should be moved to La République du Cameroon. That is our stand, the stand of this interim government. We are taking our destiny into our hands. And I cannot say it in any better way than that we are moving forward. We are moving on with this revolution. Stronger. It is stronger than ever before. So please, when you wake up tomorrow morning, remember, it is ghost town. Stay home. And after that, when Wednesday comes and passes, remember, there are no schools. There will be no school. Do not lose your money by going to pay school fee for your son or your daughter. There will be no school. Please, do not waste your money. All right. Now, people are wondering, who is in charge here at the interim government at the moment that the president is not available? I want you to know that the interim government is moving smoothly. There are no hitches. There are no divisions. We are all in unity here, making sure that everything moves as planned. At the interim government here, we have cabinet meetings. We have been having cabinet meetings almost every hour as I speak. In fact, right now as I come to you, meetings are going on. We are discussing, we are strategizing how to get our leaders out of detention in Nigeria. And also I'd like you to know that lawyers are currently taking care of the situation. The interim government has hired some lawyers in Nigeria who are working on releasing our leaders. We are optimistic that possibly in the next 3 days, our leaders will be free. That is what we are anticipating. That is our hope, because the interim government here is working on it. In the meantime, as I said, everything is fine here at the interim government. We all are sitting on the table, discussing and taking decisions. And I would like to say this. Now, very many people are asking, where is the vice president? Why can't he come in now and take over the reins of government or take over and lead temporarily? Now, I need you to understand this. We have announced in the past that the interim president, that the vice interim president of this government lives in the homeland. We are in communication with him. Because of his security, because of security reasons, we cannot reveal his name, and we are not right now asking him to come out and take over the government and run it until when the interim president comes back. Not at all. Because we do not want to expose him to danger, because he lives right there at home on ground zero. So please, when somebody is asking, why can't the vice president, interim president, come and take over the government? No, we are not putting his life in danger. We are not exposing him. He is communicating with us and telling us what must be done and how it should be done. That is exactly how the interim government is operating now, working closely with the interim vice president, who is in the homeland, to run the government until our president and his team are released from Nigerian custody. And when I say that Nigerian custody, I need your understanding to the fact that, of course, Nigeria singularly did not abduct our leaders. They did it with collaboration from La République du Cameroon. And in the near future, we are going to tell you the whole story, because the whole story will come out. But the good thing is that our leaders are coming back to us. There is no doubt about that. They will be coming back to us to continue where they left this revolution. Now, this is very important. Yesterday, when I came online, when I went live on television, I appealed for mass rallies in the diaspora, at Nigerian high commissions and embassies, the interim government had decided that we suspend those rallies, those protest rallies at the Nigerian high commission and embassies until further notice. And so, if you are a country leader, if you live in the diaspora and you are planning a mass protest at any Nigerian embassy, please, we are suspending those protest rallies. We are not ending it, we are suspending it. If need be, we will come back to announce what step to take as far as those rallies are concerned. Now let me speak directly to our brothers and sisters at ground zero. I want you to understand the best allies that we have in this revolution is Nigeria. They are Nigerians. We do not want a situation where people get upset, get angry with what the Nigerian government has done and go out to attack Nigerians in Ambazonia or anywhere in Cameroon. Please, please, Nigerians are our best partners in this revolution. We are encouraging you, see them, take them as brothers and sisters, because look at what is happening. Who is harboring our refugees? Nigeria. Nigeria is the one protecting, keeping and protecting and providing for our refugees. You cannot go out and attack any Nigerian. It will be against the spirit of this revolution. So please, especially in Kumba, Victoria, Boya, Bamenda, Kumbo, Indian, Mamfe, everywhere in Ambazonia where Nigerians are found, where Nigerians exist, please consider them brothers and sisters. They are the ones behind us in this revolution. They hold, they keep, and they protect our brothers and sisters, over 40,000 of them, who are in refugee camps right now. Please, please, dare no one go out to attack a Nigerian. They are brothers. They are more than friends. They are brothers. So please, love them. Love them. Take care of them. Look out for them. If any Francophone, any agent, because let me explain something to you. What La République du Cameroon will try to do may be to go out to attack Nigerians in Ambazonia, so that they can put the blame on you. Remember when they killed our young people and put army uniforms on them to claim, to go out and tell the narrative that you are killing their soldiers? La République du Cameroon may be plotting to go out and attack Nigerians in Ambazonia, so that they can turn around and say, oh, Ambazonians are attacking Nigerians. We do not want that narrative. Do not give them any opening to even think of that or to even do that. Protect Nigerians. Look out for them. Look out for their backs. We are brothers. We are friends. All right. Now, that said, I want you to understand that this revolution needs money. This revolution needs money, especially at this moment. I want to appeal to each and every one of you out there, especially those of us in the diaspora, our brothers and sisters in ground zero. They take all the pain, they take all the insults, they take all the brutality, they take all the attacks. We are not there to take all the insults and the brutality. The only thing that we can do to identify, to solidify what they are trying to do, is to go into our pockets and make the highest of donations. And as I come to you today, I want you to know we need money more than ever before. If we can hire enough lawyers, international lawyers, to defend our brothers, our leaders, our president, Sisiku, Julius, AyukTabe, and others who are held in captivity in Nigeria. please go to the website Ambazonia.gov or ambergov.org. Make a donation right now. If you cannot make a donation, if you are a leader in your community, please, can you reach out to your community? Reach out to your community and tell them the interim government needs funds as I speak, so that we can get good lawyers to defend our president. Right now, as before I came on air, the African Bar Association was working on a letter to the Nigerian prosecutor. We are hoping that they are going to take up this case. But you know, the African Bar Association does not live in Nigeria. They need money to fight this case. We have also hired indigenous lawyers on the ground in Nigeria. But we need money to pay them to take care of this situation. And of course, you also understand the refugee situation. In fact, our president and his team, they were arrested or abducted while in the meeting, while in the planning meeting that was meant to plan for refugee relief. So please, we are appealing to you. If we have ever needed money, finances in this revolution, the moment is now. The time is now. If you can help this revolution, the moment is now. The time is now. I am appealing to every Ambazonian, even if it is only $20, $50, please consider going on the website ambergov.org or ambazoniagov.org. Make a donation as I speak. Your credit card will do. And also we are calling on people, Ambazonians, to go on the website, register, so that you can make monthly contributions towards the revolution. Going forward, again, the revolution will need money more than ever before. I am appealing to you. If you want to see us get to Boya, you want to see us meet our targets, please get online. Log to the website, ambazoniagov.org or ambergov.org, and make a generous contribution. And may God bless you as you do so. I think I have touched on most of the points that I came over the air to talk about. Again, I cannot emphasize enough the point that the interim government is completely in control of this situation, and there is absolutely no disunity in the House. There is absolutely no struggles in the House. Everything is moving smoothly as it should be in an emergency. Everybody is doing his own, playing his own role and doing what they can do to take care of the situation. And I'd like to inform you that right within the interim government, beginning yesterday, we formed a crisis committee of select people who are monitoring the situation and coming up with decisions what should be done. And we are doing that. We are seeing progress. We are getting information. And do not be deceived. Anything that you see on the social media, do not take it for gospel truth if it does not come from the interim government. When there is new information, anytime, any moment, I will come to you live to confirm it. Now, this is very important because we have seen allegations going on online that our president and the other team were released. No, that isn't true. They have not been released. Whenever new information comes up, we will bring it to you right on this same channel, online and on SCBC television. And having said that, let me see if somebody has a question for me. Please send your questions now. I am prepared to answer your question. I am looking for it. Let me get some water first. So please, I am looking out for your questions. If you have a question, please send in your question. I am ready for your question. Again, while I wait for your questions, ghost towns tomorrow, 200% in all of Amazonia. Ghost towns tomorrow, all of Amazonia, 200%. Do not listen or even watch CRTV. Do not listen or watch Vision 4 TV. Do not listen or watch any radio station or TV station that is carrying out La République du Cameroon propaganda to see that we discontinue the revolution. If anything, if something does not emanate from this channel, from SCBC and from online, our website, our Facebook page like this one, please ignore it. Everything you assume, you take, make sure that it is confirmed from the interim government. And I or my colleague, Comrade Meeting, will come out to explain to you. Now, I see Comrade Wonja asking Mr. Chris, how did the Nigerian authority knew the meeting agenda? That is a very interesting question, Comrade Wonja. How did the Nigerian authority know the venue of this meeting from where our president and the others were picked up? We have no idea how the venue and the idea of the meeting was leaked. All we know is they went in at 5 p.m. and they had been meeting for up to 7:30 p.m. when these heavily armed 12 security men came in and took them away. We will know eventually in the course of time, but right now we are not privy to that information. And Andy Bay asks, are we saying this is an abduction or an arrest? Are we saying this is an abduction or arrest? Andy Bay, this is an abduction. It wasn't an arrest. An arrest happens when somebody presents an arrest warrant. An arrest happens when you are invited to the police station and you are arrested. But this wasn't the case. In this case, there was no arrest warrant. They were not invited by the security forces to show up at their station. They just show up at a hotel where they were meeting and arrested and abducted them. And for those who are out there worried that they may be transported to Cameroon, it will be a breach of international law. Let me put it this way. It will be a breach of international law for Nigeria to extradite our president and the other 9 of them to Cameroon, because many of them are refugees. They have refugee status in Nigeria. Under international law, you do not send back refugees back to the country from where they are running from. And so that is the comfort that we have, that Nigeria cannot be stupid to want to get them back to Cameroon. All right. More of your questions, please. I'm going to take as many questions as I can. Atabong Albert Motala, Mr. Secretary, please. We want to know if any lawyers have met with our leaders. No leaders as of now have met with our leaders. However, we are currently speaking to lawyers who will meet them. Remember, I said from the beginning of this broadcast that our leaders have been kept incommunicado. Their family members, nor any member of the interim government has been able to communicate with them. The lawyers we are talking to are still trying to contact the federal government of Nigeria to see how they can address the case. And today, being a weekend, we are hoping that they can only have that breakthrough sometime tomorrow, which is Monday, a working day. And Julius Ortiz writes, or asks, Secretary Chris, can La Republique du Cameroon succeed to extradite our leaders? Absolutely not, Ortiz. As I just explained, Nigeria does not have any extradition treaty with Cameroon, and so Nigeria is under no obligation to send our president and the rest of and the other ones back to Cameroon. So it will be an abuse of international law for Nigeria to want to hand them over to La Republique du Cameroon. All right, more questions coming in, please. Marcellus Atanga writes, someone may also be arrested without a warrant depending on the crime or situation and the laws of the country concerned. Well, that is true, but it also depends on the case in question, because in this case, no law was being broken. No law was being broken. And so there is absolutely no reason why they had to be abducted. This was a politically motivated abduction, and that is why we say it wasn't an arrest. Now, Shafe writes, you earlier announced live when Barretta was given into that we should rally around the Nigerian embassy. How do we revoke that statement? Well, I am revoking it here and now. Shafe, you are my witness. I encourage you, please, let everybody, the 753 people who are watching right now, please take the news out on your Facebook page, on your Twitter page, on Instagram page, everywhere in the social media where you find yourself, on WhatsApp. Please take out the news that all the demonstrations, all the protest marches in Nigerian embassies and high commissions, we have called them off. We have canceled them for now until further notice. Please take the news to your social media platforms, WhatsApp, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Take the news there, please, that we have called up, we have canceled that demonstration in Nigerian embassies, in high commissions around the world. We will bring you further notice. Until further notice, can anything be done? And I see a question from Lucy Ambe. Lucy Ambe writes, has our interim president and others been released? If not, why? Are their status irregular? Well, Lucy, we learn of rumors that the reason they were abducted is because they have irregular status living in Nigeria. Of course, again, that is not true. Number one, some of them or many of them are refugees, and they actually carry refugee cards with them, issued by the Nigerian Refugee Commission. Take, for instance, Comrade Tassan Wilfred. He carries a Nigerian refugee card recognized by the Nigerian government. His status wasn't irregular. And so, but even if Comrade Tassan and others were not carrying legal Nigerian refugee status, the Nigerian government is aware of the political situation in Amazonia, and they are aware that we have over 40,000 refugees from southern Cameroon in their country. And they know that they cannot send them back whether they have IDs or not. And so that is to say that they were not abducted because of their status in Nigeria. Their abduction was politically motivated. All right. And I am looking at passionate offente. Passionate offente. I like your name. It is musical. And you're right. You think the Fulani murderous regime in Nigeria understands legal issues or follows legal routes? Absolutely passionate. I think they do. Nigeria is a better place compared to Cameroon. In fact, I think if our parents had voted to remain in Nigeria in 1961, I think we would have been better off than joining the Republic du Cameroon. So Nigeria has changed a lot over the years. At least there is a degree of procedure with the Nigerian legal system, and I want to believe that the Nigerian leader and the lawmakers there will follow that process on our leaders and get them released and returned to us. Now, let me take this question from Renaud Blaise. Sir, we are told they were kidnapped. I wish to ask if they are in any police custody there in Nigeria or taken to an unknown destination. Renaud, I cannot categorically say yes or no. What we know is that they are in custody, whether with the police, with the SSS. Of course, many sources say they are with the Nigerian Secret Service. And so that is all that we can say. We do not know precisely where they are. In fact, one information we got was that no, I don't want to give out this information for security reasons, but I want you to know that the information we are aware is they are with the Nigerian Secret Service. Okay. I am looking at your questions, and I want to take as many of them as possible, and I want to appeal to you again. Please reach out to the people in your social media groups and remind them that no more protests or demonstrations at Nigerian high commissions or embassies anywhere in the world from our people. Those rallies have been cancelled, and we will, until we make further decisions about them, nothing will hold. And also to our people on ground zero, please look out for our brothers and sisters from Nigeria. They are our friends, they are our sisters. Nobody, please, nobody should attack them. Thank you very much for that. Now, I get this from Amberland Intel. Amberland Intel asks, what happens to those of them with Cameroonian passport and not legally recognized as refugees? Amberland Intel, I have just answered that question a few minutes ago. I said whether they have Cameroon passports or not, they have Nigerian documentations on or not, at least they have a form of ID that either identifies them as Cameroonians or an ID that recognizes them as refugees in Nigeria. And so if they are caught in Nigeria, they will be identified one way or the other. And this is very important because we encourage everybody, if you have to go on asylum in Nigeria, please make sure you have a form of ID with you. If you don't have an ID, at least get your birth certificate with you. But do not go out anywhere in Nigeria without carrying your ID with you. Marcellus, thank you very much. Marcellus, right? Pick up your phones, send text messages, and call home. Remind them of the 3 days ghost town from Monday the 8th January to Wednesday. Please take that message out to everybody. If you live in the diaspora, please call back home. Call back home. Drive home the message. Let everybody stay home. Monday through Wednesday is going to be the biggest ghost town that we have had. But let me say also that if our leaders are released, we will come back to you to update you. Now, Z. Roland Kena writes, which papers did the president have on which paper did the president have to stay in Nigeria? Well, Mr. Roland, you are aware that the president has lived in Nigeria for quite a number of years. He works in Nigeria, actually. And so for him to be able to have a job in Nigeria, you can bet that he has legal status living in Nigeria. And let me see. Send in the questions, please. I'm looking for more questions. I want to answer your questions, as many as possible. And Oliver Edgar writes, Chris, are you guys ensuring that the communication between you and the current vice president is not being tracked? You have to ensure that every classified information communicated not be traceable to protect the current vice president. Thank you very much, Oliver. We are doing just that. We are using an encrypted system in all of our communication, not just with the vice president, but each and every one of us within the interim government inner circles. Our messages are encrypted. Nobody can tap our messages or tap our phones. The vice president is very much safe. He can safely communicate with us. I am taking more of your questions. Send them coming. Send them coming. Send your questions coming, please. Now, Anne in the right, our able communication minister, is this related to what the frontline leaders promised some time back, that Sisiku will see something before their conference? Again, let me get a question out clearly. This is coming from Anne in there. And she writes, our able secretary, is this information or is this abduction related to what the frontline leaders promised some time back, that His Excellency Sisiku will see something before their conference? And absolutely, I cannot say yes or no to that question. All we know right now is that they were adopted, and we know that the reason for their abduction was politically motivated. And we have also no doubt that La République du Cameroon is behind this. Now, who leaked the information about their meeting to La République du Cameroon is what we are yet to find out. And we will know, we will find out, we will get that information. And whosoever is behind that, well, we are going to put the person wherever he belongs. And let me take this opportunity to say that all the leaders of the other groups have been cooperative in this effort to get our president released. They have all joined forces. Morris sent out a good press release and they circulated it to the international organizations. We appreciate that. And every leader is trying to do what he or she can do to see that our interim president and the others are abducted are released. Now, let me take a question from Rosca Nick. Rosca Nick writes, Sir, if La République du Cameroon government requested that Nigeria government should transfer our president and other members to Cameroon, what are we going to do? Thanks for that question, Rosca. I am optimistic that the Nigerian government would not. Of course, La République would want to do that. And I can assure you they have already tried. But the Nigerian government, I am optimistic. I am very much optimistic. They are not going to do that. They understand the rule of law. They are not a tyranny like what we have in Cameroon, where no law exists. The Nigerian government understands international law and they understand the law that govern refugees. And so under no circumstances do I see them transferring those refugees into the hands of La République du Cameroon. The United Nations is aware of our case. The EU is aware of our case. The British are aware of our case. The United States is aware of our case. And so I just do not see any circumstances under which Nigeria would transfer our president and his team into the hands of La République du Cameroon. And let me get a question from Mbu Morgan. Mbu Morgan writes, Mr. Anu, is the United Nations aware of the abduction of the leaders? Of course, the United Nations is aware of the abduction of our leaders. Since yesterday, when we got the news, we sent out press releases copied to the Secretary General of the United Nations, the Secretary General of the Commonwealth, the President of the EU, and the EU Parliament, the President of the United States, Donald Trump. And so you can rest assured that information is out there. All these international leaders and organizations, they are aware of what is happening to our leaders. I am going to take 3 more questions and we round up this broadcast. And let me look at Roland Afungan. Roland Afungan writes, hello, Comrade Chris. What level of security was around the president and the meeting venue during the meeting? If any, how was the security breach? Any casualties or material damage, or was it a beach walk? Well, I will call it a beach walk. What's the name again? I will call it a beach walk, Roland. Again, nobody was aware of this. We, of course, every hotel in Nigeria has a certain level of security. But you would understand that when you have 12 well-armed soldiers with machine guns storming a hotel to arrest anybody, there is no way any security in that hotel can withstand that amount of force. And so you can guess that when those 12 well-armed SSS guys in Nigeria walked into that hotel, if you were a security guard or personnel in that hotel, you normally would have given way. So that is what happened. What is still intriguing is just how the information about that meeting got leaked to those security forces. That is still the mystery. And again, as I have said, we will definitely get to that. The last but one question. Ngale Torres writes, Mr. Anu, when will you guys visit Boya? Mr. Ngale, I'm surprised you are asking this question. Don't you know we have an office in Boya with a vice interim president in Boya? We are in Boya. When you look at the letterhead of the interim government, they all bear an address in Boya. We are in Boya. So please, don't worry yourself. Have peace. We are in Boya. And let me take one last question, and then we round up this broadcast. Siri in the F.R.A. Why has the SCBC been banned in South Africa at this time? Mr. Siri, I do not think you got your information right, because as I speak to you, I am coming live from SCBC, and SCBC is still in South Africa. So SCBC has not been banned. SCBC is alive and well in South Africa, and again, I am actually coming to you from SCBC in South Africa. You may be watching online, but I want you to know this broadcast is being broadcast simultaneously with SCBC in South Africa. I will do one more question before I go. Donga Dinga writes, Chris, according to UNHCR, a refugee is a civilian, a person who continues to pursue armed action against his or her own country of origin from the country of asylum, cannot be considered a refugee. Can our interim government be charged with propagating insurrection in Cameroon? Absolutely not, Comrade Dinga. Our refugees cannot be charged with pursuing separation with Cameroon, or an armed struggle with Cameroon from Nigeria. And absolutely, we are not doing that anyways. So all that we are doing is we are using diplomatic means to pursue our nationhood, our independence. And so there is no way that we can be accused of importing arms to wage a war against La République du Cameroon. Of course, we know that there are confrontations going on the ground. But again, those are self-defense people who are defending their families, defending their homes, and defending their lives. Nobody can stop them. They have those rights. And that is not to say that if the need comes, we will not defend ourselves as a nation. Every nation that has become a country, I mean, every country that has been through this kind of process has had to defend itself one way or the other. And they have to seek foreign ground with which to organize and do that. We saw that in the other countries around the world. Look at Namibia, look at Mozambique, look at Zimbabwe, look at South Africa. They all had armies trained somewhere else to go back to South Africa, before going back to South Africa to fight their wars, or their various countries to fight their wars. Eventually, we will need a stop, a place where we can call, where we are recognized as a nation, from where we can do anything that we want to do without fearing anybody. In that moment will come very, very soon, because from all indications, La République du Cameroon is not ready to dialogue. They are not ready to negotiate. And so soon we will be left with no option but to activate that self-defense action for all of Amazonia. I want to appreciate you tuning in. I still have over 600 people watching right now. At the time, it went over 800 people. I want to appreciate you for being patient, sitting there and listening to me. Again, before I go, I want to say that anytime there are new developments, I or Comrade Milton will come live to update you, so you are abreast with what is going on, with what the interim government is doing to assuage this situation. And before I leave, I again want to appeal to each and every one of you out there. Please use your Facebook pages, use your Instagram pages, use your Twitter pages, use your WhatsApp profiles, accounts to push this information. Number one, no schools are resuming. Number two, 200% ghost towns tomorrow. We are monitoring. We want to see which town, which city, which village that will beat the others. And so please, beginning tomorrow till Wednesday, 200% ghost towns everywhere in Amazonia. And of course, number three, please look after our brothers and sisters who are from Nigeria, who live in Amazonia. Look out for them. Protect them. Do not allow the people to come around, attack them, and then turn around and lay the blame on us. Nigerians are our best friends in this struggle, and we must not pay them with wickedness for what they are doing for us. Look at the number of refugees that we have in Nigeria. They are feeding them, they are giving them accommodation, they are looking after them. So please, let's look after Nigerians in our country. Let's protect them and know as they protect us across the border. And then, of course, very important, we need donations. Please get online, amazoniagov.org. Make a donation, $20, $100, $50, even $1,000 will help at this time. We need funds right now to hire lawyers who are defending or will defend our leaders, our president. If you want to see Sisiku get out there as soon as possible, please get online, chip in a donation right now so that we can hire lawyers that will defend him and defend others and get them out of abduction. And again, when any development comes up, I will be back here to brief you. Until then, remain blessed, protected, and know that we have no other option but to get to Boya. Thanks for watching. I am Chris Arnold.